after a bloody battle. I put an end to it all in the catacombs beneath the city. The Penguin, Two-Face, and Lady Arkham were the first real challenge I faced as the Batman, but they would not be the last.
Actions have consequences, and in Season 1 of Telltale's Batman series, Bruce Wayne learned this truth the hard way, when his father, Thomas Wayne, was revealed to be one of the most powerful criminals in Gotham history. While the events of Season 1 mostly wrapped up neatly, one very important thread was left laying bare. At one point, in order to escape incarceration at Arkham Asylum, Bruce Wayne briefly allied himself with John Doe, a green-haired, pale-faced lunatic with a chilling ear-to-ear grin. And as we all know, actions have consequences.
When I get out of here, you're gonna owe me a favor, okay? Just one.
But The Enigma, Season 2, Episode 1 of Telltale's Batman series approaches this loose end with a deft touch, allowing the threat of John Doe to linger in the background, ever present, but simmering. Instead, it pivots to a compelling take on the Riddler, who is excellently voiced by Robert Atkin Downes. Although Riddler is primarily used as the setup for a much bigger threat, Telltale still does justice to the character with a gripping, self-contained story. Telltale has made a few changes to Edward Nygma to present him in a way that, while not completely unique, puts a different spin on him. In this universe, Riddler existed before Bruce Wayne became Batman, but has been missing for some time. His return to Gotham is not only an ominous sign of things to come, but the spark that ignites a number of fires for Batman and Bruce Wayne to fight. In typical Riddler fashion, he immediately sets about challenging the intellect of Gotham's so-called savior. The initial confrontation is a brutal casino brawl which culminates in the villain leaving the Dark Knight with a mystery to solve. A small, strange box that must be figured out or people are gonna get hurt. The bulk of this episode is spent unraveling the mysteries of the box and then dealing with the fallout, but the search for answers has a devastating impact on the people around Batman. Telltale isn't wasting any time, as episode 1 has a few harrowing moments and tough decisions. By the time the episode is wrapped up, the Riddler has made a permanent mark on the life of Bruce Wayne and Batman.
Watch out, Commissioner. For all his preaching, Batman knows when to sacrifice a pawn to win the game.
The means by which players drive the narrative in Season 2 hasn't changed drastically from the previous season. Investigations still involve finding clues by moving around environments and interacting with specific objects, and puzzle solving is similarly rudimentary. While the first game's investigation sequences weren't much more complicated, they at least had a multitude of variables to think about. In this episode, however, the solutions were obvious and the steps to solving conundrums were simple. I didn't much feel like the world's greatest detective.
That's a match.
Episode 1 as a whole feels more weighted towards action set pieces, and although the interactions are still a series of QuickTime events, there's more involvement in the moment-to-moment scuffles. Now, after delivering a flurry of bone-crunching hooks and uppercuts, you can choose whether you want to follow up with a roundhouse or a body slam. Or you'll have to tap buttons multiple times to ensure your batarangs hit all the goons in the area. It's a small change, but one that encourages players to stay focused and engaged. As with all Telltale games, the way you respond to characters through dialogue choices not only defines how the story branches, but now also redefines relationships. It can be difficult to see someone you once considered a friend now doubting you, through no fault of your own. This shakeup injects further drama into existing dynamics, which means you can never truly feel at ease during a conversation. While the episode is less overt than Season 1 about trying to deconstruct Batman and Bruce Wayne, the Riddler is used to assess the principles they operate under. Each new Saw-like death trap questions what sacrifices the Caped Crusader is willing to make in pursuit of his justice. It's subtle, but Telltale is picking at the line between hero and criminal in a way that could unravel Batman's sense of self, with interesting implications. The Riddler's Arrival has also attracted the attention of the agency. This alpha is headed up by Amanda Waller, and DC fans will immediately appreciate the implications her introduction has. Waller is known to be one of the most powerful non-superhuman characters in the DC universe, regularly scheming and politicking to keep the worst criminals and greatest heroes under her thumb. She begins to undermine the relationship between Commissioner Gordon and Batman by creating a rift between them, something which the player must then work to mend. She becomes yet another plate for players to spin, a new source of stress in the game's decision-making moments. Of course, there's also the matter of John Doe, who abruptly reappears having been released from Arkham Asylum with a full, clean bill of health. However, he's still ever so slightly unhinged, but at the same time unusually helpful to Batman's investigations, which once again emphasizes the actions have consequences mantra that Telltale's games are built on. Do you accept help from someone who, deep down, you know will eventually turn on you?
Gosh, John, I don't know. My schedule's just so packed these days.
Please don't blow me off.
Without the need to retell the origin story and unburdened by that baggage, Season 2 of Telltale's Batman series has started strongly, with a variety of well-realized new characters. There are a number of tough decision-making moments that will give players pause and invite them to consider the impact their choices could have. While gameplay is not markedly different, combat is tweaked just enough to make it an improvement over its previous iteration. Overall, The Enigma is a successful opening chapter to a Batman story that's shaping up to be more ambitious than anything Telltale attempted in the first season.